A little late this morning, but listen, it's the last day of the week for the Ben Garcia show. Why not just go out with a bang where, listen, sometimes you're just running a little behind. Hey, there's a lot of things to get to. Jordan Ott is the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns, as well as let's talk some Cardinals, man. I want to talk about something that a lot of people are 50-50 on, so let's talk about it next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up, fellas? Welcome in to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. It's Thursday, man, the final day of the Ben Garcia Show, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little tired. I am a little tired in this day and age where getting up in the morning to do a morning show, even though you're a 27-year-old kid who would rather, I don't know if I'm still qualify as a kid, but you'd rather just kind of stay asleep. But listen, man, there's things to talk about. This is the Ben Garcia Show. The train doesn't stop, unless it has to sometimes. And there's a lot of things to get into, so let's get into it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, potentially even tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show. And guys, you keep doing this in bunches. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I'm closing into 1,000 followers on Twitter, which is pretty cool. And, 2 years ago, I'd tweet something and it'd just go into the ether. And now people are reacting to it. They're liking it. They're quote tweeting it. They're calling me an idiot. They're telling me why they agree with me. It's awesome. It's everything I ever dreamed of when it came in to start doing this show. So do that, and let's get into it. Normally, we flip-flop these two because my popularity on my channel is mostly with the Arizona Cardinals. People love my Arizona Cardinals talk. Okay, it feels like that's a little strong. People like my Arizona Cardinals talk. I think they enjoy the fact that I'm fairly honest about what I think about this team, and that's kind of what I carry it with when I talk about the Diamondbacks, the Suns, the Sun Devils, and of course, the Arizona Cardinals. Normally, we save them for the end of the show, but given the fact there's a lot of things going on with the Phoenix Suns and their new head coach, Jordan Ott, I thought we'd start with the Cardinals here. So with that being said, the Arizona Cardinals have done a lot this offseason, and people are getting excited. People are stoked to see what is going to happen in 2025. But there's still this unanswered question. Oftentimes I'll put these shorts on Instagram or on TikTok. I don't got a social media manager. You're looking at the social media manager for the Ben Garcia Show. And oftentimes I'll put up a clip, and if it's about Kyler or about the offense, people will instantly start blaming Drew Petzing. I want it to be clear. I think Drew Petzing has to be better. But to act like last season was mostly on him, I don't think is fair. Kyler is, I think, of a good quarterback in the NFL. But what have we said over and over about Kyler? His consistency is just not there. And so when people blame last year's season collapse on Drew Petzing, it's on him. The offense was really bad. Man, I just don't agree. Last year's late season collapse was on Kyler Murray. Drew Petzing had a hand in it. The defense had a hand in it. But all I can think about is week after week that Kyler was throwing an interception. Like every week. Patriots, he had one. Seattle, he had one in both games. It wasn't good enough. Kyler would have had a really bad interception against the Patriots had he not got a phantom flag for roughing the passer. So what I go towards is, listen, man, I agree with you. Drew Petzing's got to be a lot better for this team. He has legitimate issues. But last year was on Kyler. And I don't think it's fair to point the finger somewhere else. Personally, I don't. But you look back at those last couple of weeks for sorry guys, my notes are being really weird this morning. You look back at these the last couple of weeks with Kyler Murray. And I think about it like this. So it's okay. Yeah, everything's just being, I apologize. Everything is not working this morning. But you look back at those last couple of weeks for Kyler Murray, and you remember that Seattle game. They went on the road. He threw a pick six. Then it was the very next week. They, if I'm not mistaken, they lose again. But it was those Seattle Seahawks games that he played horrific in. And I can't blame that kind of stuff on Drew Petzing as I quickly try to load in my notes so I'm not just acting like I didn't give you guys any prep today. But here we go. All right, I got it for you guys. Apologies for that. But it's after that Jets game. The Cardinals are 6-4. The bye week hits. Kyler scores 6 points against the Seattle Seahawks. He's got 2 interceptions in that game. The Cardinals are up, if I'm not mistaken, 19-6 on the Minnesota Vikings. They lose that game, 22-23. Then the very next week, you get Seattle again. That game was on Kyler. Drew Petzing let it rip. And Kyler was fine after he threw 2 big interceptions to put the Cardinals behind the 8 ball. But garbage time scores don't do anything for me. So when you go back and you look at those games and you question who the issue is, it's easy to blame the offensive coordinator. That's what the Steelers did for a really long time. But, guys, some of these games, like this is on Kyler. And you look back at not just those Seattle games, the Panthers games. He needs to beat Bryce Young, whose only weapon was old man Adam Thielen. The Rams, 9 points. And then he beats the 49ers to end the season, which, again, not really interested in. Without Brock Purdy and without a lot of their weapons. Drew Petzing has problems. But Drew Petzing let Kyler Murray crack it downfield in that second Seattle Seahawks game at home. Kyler did not answer the bell. I'm not blaming Drew Petzing because they lost to the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, his best weapon was Adam Thielen. You have to win those games. And so when it comes to blaming blaming Drew Petzing, it's just not the case, guys. If you want my honest opinion, and you're not going to like this if you're a Kyler Murray fan, and just so we're clear, I like Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray has the potential, I'm not joking with you, to be an MVP candidate. But the consistency just isn't there enough for me to blame anyone else but him for last year's late season collapse. Other things had a hand in it. The defense, not great. Drew Petzing, not great. But if we're being fair, guys, Kyler Murray was the biggest culprit for last season. And I look back to that Seattle Seahawks game at home where everyone was yelling at Drew Petzing to cut the ball loose downfield. And Kyler finally gets the chance to do so in some people's eyes. And Kyler throws 2 horrific interceptions, puts the Cardinals behind the 8 ball, and then after that, it was interception after interception after interception each and every week. Drew Petzing isn't telling him to throw the ball to the wrong player. So at the end of this season, if the Cardinals don't succeed, it's probably because Kyler Murray wasn't good enough. But I don't think they're going to get rid of Kyler. I think they're going to get rid of Drew Petzing and try to run it back with Kyler again. But at that point, I will be out on Kyler. I'm not out on Kyler yet. I'm still in. And I still believe he can be a very good quarterback in this league. But this is it. We have to stop making excuses for Kyler. I can make a bunch of excuses next year. Just watch me. It's easy. What's hard is holding your franchise quarterback accountable. Something tells me, regardless of the offensive coordinator, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow would all be perfectly fine. All of them. I don't know how good Zach Taylor is, but Joe Burrow props him up. I don't know how good Sean McDermott is, but Josh Allen keeps him from getting fired every single year. John Harbaugh's not an offensive guy. He's a special teams guy. But Lamar Jackson props him up. Kyler's got to do the same things, guys. It's been 6 years. Next year will be year 7. When will it not be on Kyler? And I do think if there's a year Kyler is going to actually have a breakout season, it is next season. And I'm very bullish on the opportunities. But I'm not going to go into next year blaming the offensive coordinator. That's what bad teams do. And when I watch Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, guys who we're either not sure how good Zach Taylor is or John Harbaugh and Sean McDermott aren't offensive coaches, those guys just work. This is a ground and pound offense. We know the identity of this team. Run the ball. But when Kyler Murray's name is called upon, it's on him to figure it out, not anyone else. And it just gets a little asinine to continue to have to talk about this. Because this is my number one thing in my comment section. Blame Petzing. Blame Petzing. Well, Petzing's going to get blamed if this season doesn't work out. They'll probably run it back with Kyler again. But by that point, I will be out. Because I'm not going to keep making excuses for Kyler. At some point, it's not all going to be perfect. And if it all has to be perfect, a good offensive coordinator, a good weapons, good offensive line, everything around him is set around him. If he has to be that guy, he becomes Jimmy Garoppolo. He becomes Brock Purdy. He becomes, at times, Jordan Love. Only as good as what's around him. And if that's the case, you're not going to win a championship with that guy. You're just not. All right. Let's move on to the Phoenix Suns, guys. There is clearly some, not breaking news anymore, but it was insane yesterday. The amount of people hand-wringing over and pearl-clutching over Jordan Ott becoming the next head coach for the Phoenix Suns. And just so we're clear, I actually kind of like the hire. You know, now that I am 24 hours almost into the Jordan Ott hiring, I kind of like the hire. And I haven't thought about the Michigan State connection once, if I'm being honest with you. Since the tweet came out, I haven't thought about it. I just don't care enough. It's so weird, the amount of people that truly care about the Michigan State connection when Jordan Ott is more than qualified. I mentioned this yesterday, guys. The Nepo baby world, I live in it. I hate it. I'm not okay with it. But that's just life. Nepotism is alive and well in this world. Brian Gregory was a Nepo baby. Jordan Ott probably got the job over Johnny Bryant because he was a Michigan State grad. But he's more than qualified for the position. And what does it tell you that Devin Booker decided, this is my guy? Stamp of approval. Seal of approval. That matters to me. Jordan Ott, from the interviews that I've watched with him, he's a very intense guy. What this Suns team needs is not a Phil Jackson, Steve Kerr level of coach coming in to build the X's and O's and get this team ready for an NBA Finals run. We are starting over. We need someone here. The Suns need someone here who is going to build a culture and an identity. And Jordan Ott looks like he's going to be able to do that. He's earned the right to be here. Matt Ishbia is what you should be more worried about than it is the head coaching hire. But before I get there, Jordan Ott, it almost feels like to me that the Suns didn't want to hire him because they knew what kind of uproar it would cause. But he just kept nailing interview after nailing interviews. And they just decided we have to give this guy the job. And just so we're clear, they should go with that guy. And I thought about this as well. Johnny Bryant was the lead assistant for the Cleveland Cavaliers. How could you take Jordan Ott over Johnny Bryant if Johnny Bryant is higher on the pecking order with the Cleveland Cavaliers coaching? And I thought of it like this, guys. Jordan Ott barely showed up there a couple of seasons ago. And according to reports, he still had a lot of duties when it came to that coaching search. But Johnny Bryant was already there. He's been the associate head coach for a few seasons now. Jordan Ott can't just jump over that guy. Both things can be true. Both guys were qualified for the job. Both guys could be the number one over with the Cleveland Cavaliers head coaching pecking order. And one guy was just a better interviewer than Johnny Bryant. I was rooting for Bryant. I still would rather Bryant to be the head coach. But I think what we need to stop doing as Suns fans on social media is acting like you were in the interview rooms. Was acting like you know better. What if Johnny Bryant said, I want to trade Devin Booker? You don't know that. What if he did? What if Chris Quinn said, I'd probably start a point guard at center? Yeah, like these things aren't very likely that they did this. But overall, we don't know, and we'll never know. Jordan Ott might have looked like Albert Einstein compared to some of these other guys. So we need to stop acting like we know of these coaches, and we need to stop acting like we've been grinding the tape on them. That's what drives me crazy. People who cosplay as insiders and just lie on social media. Oftentimes it'll be, I've been grinding tape on the NFL draft on this guy. No, you haven't. You've been watching YouTube highlights. You don't actually know who the guy from Kentucky is. But people like to feel like insiders. Oh, Chris Quinn will be awesome. Why? Because he worked with the Miami Heat? Oh, Heat culture, right? Well, the Suns did that with James Jones. What happened here? And same with Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant, I don't know. Maybe there's a reason he hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet. He's been a finalist before. So is Jordan Ott. I'm kind of excited what he can do with this Suns offense, if I'm being honest with you. You know, my guy Brendan Clean has pointed out to me a few times some of the things that he was responsible of, putting Bruce Brown in the center position. He's innovative. He's helped with the development of Austin Reeves. He helped take that Lakers team to the Western Conference Finals with Darvin Ham in his first year when everyone thought Darvin Ham was an incompetent buffoon. Johnny Bryant's great, but I don't know. Jordan Ott could be better. We all know it's very possible that the Cleveland Cavaliers had the wrong guy as their top assistant. It's very possible. And it drives me crazy to think that people think that they know better because we don't. And that brings me over to the Matt Ishbia side. Ishbia is just, there's no other way to put it. This sounds harsh. He's not lying about big things, but Matt Ishbia, he's a liar. He came out with a letter yesterday basically apologizing to the Phoenix Suns fan base, saying he's upset that he didn't do a better job of building a culture. And I'm trying to find that exact report in here when I saw it yesterday. But Ishbia emailed the Suns basketball operations team internally on Wednesday, taking accountability for not doing enough to establish a culture and identity in Phoenix. The Suns owner stand by that he tried running the typical NBA owner playbook of hiring experts, signing checks, and getting out of the way. Now, Ishbia expects to be extremely active in the decisions and management. That's what should scare you more than anything else. Because what if Jordan Ott wants to run the team a different ways? Matt Ishbia going to say something? We know now that Brian Gregory, why he was hired. He's not really the GM. It's Matt Ishbia as the GM. He wants a bunch of yes men around him because he thinks he can run a team better. This is what should worry you. Having a meddling owner almost never works in any sports scheme. And coming out and just being flat out honest that he's going to be extremely active in day-to-day operations. We know he was active in the Bradley Beal market trying to bring him into Phoenix, so he's lying there. Kevin Durant, the trade, he pushed that over. He's lying there. As well as he said in the press conference the other day, a couple weeks ago, I'm not in there watching film. I'm not being extremely active with these things. Well, it turns out you were. So yesterday shouldn't be about Jordan Ott and his head coaching prowess and if he should be the guy. Yesterday's story needs to be, oh my God, Matt Ishbia is doubling and tripling down on being a meddling owner. And I don't know if you can recover from that. I enjoy that Ishbia is willing to spend money. And he's done a lot of good things to improve the fan experience here. He's made games free. He's made concessions cheaper. Those are all really great things. Keep doing those things. Because lying about bringing Kevin Durant to Phoenix and Bradley Beal to Phoenix and probably Tyus Jones to an extent, and going up on stage and saying that you aren't meddling in affairs, but then come out a couple of weeks later in an email to staff that you're going to be very hands-on and try to build a culture in Phoenix. This is what should worry you. Because meddling ownership, not putting the right guys in charge, is what's going to cause this team to tumble downhill. And I got to be honest with you, I can't believe more people weren't talking about this yesterday. Matt Ishbia is on a path to being one of the worst owners in the NBA, just from a basketball, obviously, standpoint. He's obviously a good fan experience guy. He's obviously, not like some of the awful people that have been managers before, just from an X's and O's basketball on-court product. The Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker thing didn't work out here. He was a part of that. He brought Tyus Jones here. That didn't work out. And now he's meddling in affairs even further. He's putting his guys in charge. That is not what good owners do. And we're going to see how it works out. And honestly, guys, it might take us down a path for a couple of seasons of misery until Ishbia figures out he's not good enough to be the president of basketball operations. So, yesterday I feel like the lead was buried. It wasn't Jordan Ott and his experience. It was Matt Ishbia starting a dictatorship with the Phoenix Suns. And we'll see how that goes. I'm not very bullish on it. I think it's the wrong move. But ultimately, it's Matt Ishbia's team. He's going to go as the wind blows him. All right, guys. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. The stream has been getting more attention, especially after the show is streamed. Pretty great stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning in and being part of the Ben Garcia Show. Just a reminder, we are a Monday through Thursday show. There will be no show on Friday. There will be a Saturday special, no show on Sunday. And I'm going to bring on someone that I know really well to help talk about and help us dissect more of Jordan Ott as the next Phoenix Suns head coach. So look out for that on Saturday at noon, the normal Saturday special time. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, potentially Even tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show. So I will see you guys live on Monday, but there will be a Saturday special show that will be pre-recorded. You guys won't want to miss that. That is all in on Jordan Ott and him as a head coach. I'm going to bring a guy on that I know from Cleveland that covers the team. So until then, I'll see you guys on Monday when we are live at 7 a.m.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah.